Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we look back at the glory days of Malaysian badminton with former men's singles world number 2, Ong Yu Hock. And we round up the best of this year's Total BWF World Championships. Malaysian badminton is currently synonymous with one man, Lee Chong Wei. But while the former world number 1 may dominate the nation's sporting landscape, there were plenty before him who laid the groundwork for the game in the country. One such player was Ong Yu Hock, Malaysia's former number 1 shuttler and a player of some note in the 1990s. His accolades included successes at the Commonwealth and Southeast Asian Games, the Malaysia Open, and he was part of the country's Thomas Cup silver medal sides in 1994 and 1998, both times losing to arch rivals Indonesia.
In 98, in Thomas Cup in Hong Kong, that time I was playing the first singles. That is more my memory team event in that time. So I was playing with again Indonesia. I still remember with my coach that during 5 p.m. The game will start at 7. So we start taking my meal is at 5 something. Before taking the meal, my hand was shaking. You know, the pressure is on that grade because the whole Malaysian is looking at you.
Now in his 40s, Ong may have stepped out of the competitive limelight, but his energy has not waned. Badminton Unlimited met up with the former shuttler at his recently established Extreme Badminton Academy at Seri Kembangan, about 20 kilometers from Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. Ong's progression into the national side was unconventional. Born and raised in Penang, his interest in badminton stemmed from his older brother, who was then a state player. Coming from a lower-income family, the badminton court was his refuge at night.
I used to go and play football a lot, you know. So when you come to nighttime, then got nothing to do. Even though in my house that last time, 30, 40 years ago, that we don't have like really the electric light at that time. So we just very dark in our house. So I try to get away from there. That's why we follow my brother to go and play badminton.
Ong followed his brother to the state training center, and being a natural with a racket, he quickly became the player's sparring partner. By the time he reached 16, the sport-loving Ong was on his way to the National Training Centre in Kuala Lumpur, but it wasn't by choice.
My mother accident then passed away, so my brother was asked that time the current coach was Miss Bonsidek. You know, my brother in Penang, they have during long holiday got nobody taking care of him, so can I bring him to come to KL? At the part of that, he can taking care of me. And also that I can to help them to spar and help.
The younger Ong began to learn from the more established and experienced Malaysian players, who would later become the 1992 Thomas Cup winning squad. The energetic teenager also received valuable lessons from men's singles greats Yang Yang and Han Qian, 2 of China's best who were coaching the country's senior team. Ong's years of playing football benefited the young shuttler, as he had developed fast reflexes, quick feet, and stamina. Although a supreme athlete, he had a lot to learn when it came to technique.
In the beginning of my badminton career, that I don't have any weapon to kill. During that time, I would chase every corner that I take the ball. From the China coaches that say that if you keep maintaining all this, you only can defend because you long games, all the matches. So if you keep continue this, you won't sustain for until the finals. So from there, I learned all this, that anticipating that, you know, when you defend, then how you counter back.
When Ong began to win at state level, the national selectors decided it was time to officially recruit the teenager. Taking in what he had been taught, the young shuttler was ready for international badminton. The world took notice of the right-hander when he made his team event debut at the prestigious Thomas Cup in 1994.
In Jakarta, I played the second singles. And then that time, nobody knows who is Ong Yu Hock. You know, I also newcomer can be. So I managed to beat a lot of the top and world ranking top 10 players at that time. I also don't know, because of the team spirit and because of my determination that I won't give up. I still remember I beat Paul Erik Højlundsen. By the time he was top 10, I was nowhere, I don't know, you know. At times I beat Paul Erik, I beat Dong Jong, at that time was top.
Ong lost in the final against the more experienced Ardi Wiranata, but the exposure boosted his confidence. He bagged medals at various editions of the Commonwealth, Southeast Asian and Asian Games, nabbed his first major title at the Malaysia Open in 1996, clinched a runner-up spot at the 98 All England Open Badminton Championships, and collected another silver from the Thomas Cup in '98. But being in the spotlight had its price.
98, during the Commonwealth Games, you know, I injured myself. Even though we won the team event gold medals, so when it comes to individual, I torn my hamstring. A lot of people were cursing, say, "Yeah, you just play a fool, then you win." You know? But it's the exact thing that because of the sweat, then I step on that, then I slip it, then they injured. So mainly that kind of thing that you cannot avoid.
Ong was back in contention the following year, although it took another 2 years before he won his next medal. He captained the SEA Games gold medal winners in the men's event and once again stood on the podium at the Malaysia Open the same year. But just as he was beginning to excel on the court, matters off it began to affect his passion for the game. Disagreements with Badminton Association of Malaysia saw him walk away from international badminton in 2003. Ong was out of the badminton scene for a number of years before his love for the sport brought him back onto the courts, this time as a coach.
For me, very simple in badminton, for my training center, is that number one is discipline. Number two for me is commitment. When you come in here with your heart and train, you don't come in here just play for fun and just have joke here. No, I want the player to come with themselves. You know, it's not that you come here because of course I'm here. I said no, because of yourself you come in here.
Resolute, fierce and determined as a player, Ong Hock is looking towards the future with the very same traits. Time for some trivia. We want you to name the player who clinched her first BWF World Superseries title at this year's OUE Singapore Open. We give you the answer after the break. We're in Indonesia after the break as we bring you the conclusion of the Total BWF World Championships. Before the break, we asked you to name the player who clinched her first BWF World Superseries title at this year's OUE Singapore Open. The answer is Sun Yu. Earlier this year, the Chinese shuttler defeated Chinese Taipei's Tai Tzu-ying to cap the biggest success of her career, winning her first BWF World Superseries title at the OUE Singapore Open. Sun is the only women's singles shuttler from China who has clinched victory at a World Superseries tournament this season. The Total BWF World Championships 2015 came to an end last weekend, with Jakarta hosting the tournament for the third time in its 38-year history. The Indonesian capital welcomed shuttlers from all over the globe, all hoping for a chance to step on the very top of the podium. Already home to one of the most celebrated Super Series premier events on the badminton calendar, there was no doubt the 22nd edition of the World Championships was going to be another resounding success. It kicked off with a welcome dinner hosted by the city's governor.
We've come to Jakarta so many times over the years, but being in this city hall with the governor hosting it is of course very special, and that just signifies that this is big. There's a very big tournaments happening here every year, but actually this is then now one of the more bigger ones, actually, a World Championship. So, you know, that is a very special fact.
From the final logistical touches to the players fine-tuning their preparations, there was always something happening. It was also a chance for the BWF to put on a player media education session aimed at teaching the players how to handle the media and related topics. For the home players, it's all about handling the pressure and trying to do their fans proud.
Minat daripada supporter kita ini sudah sangat baik.
The interest from our supporters is fantastic. It's just left to how our players can perform. That's our hope. But what's important is that we are focused on helping them to keep their focus, concentration, and mental strength.
Ya, dan mental yang paling penting.
So with the formalities done and dusted, it was time to show where it mattered most, on the courts of the Istora Senayan. After a showcase of brilliant badminton action during the week, finals day promised to be even better. It started with the mixed doubles final as defending champions Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei faced compatriots Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin. Having endured an energy-sapping semi-final clash the day before, Zhang and Zhao had it all to do again against the world number 4 pair, who were hungry to prove their worth in this final. But it was the sheer class of Zhang and Zhao that won in the end. The world number 1 duo successfully retained their title in straight games 21-17, 21-11.
It's not easy to win gold the third time. After we won in 2011, we couldn't defend our title in 2013. But we managed to claim it again in 2014 and again this year. So we are very pleased.
The women's singles also saw Carolina Marin trying to defend her crown against India's world number 2, Saina Nehwal. This matchup has developed into an intriguing rivalry since the start of the year and was set to play out yet again at the championships. And after 59 minutes, it was Marin who came out tops in this one. Final score, 21-16, 21-19, as the Spaniard took home the world title yet again.
Today, I think the secret was to enjoy the match, enjoy the final, and of course, enjoy the crowd. They were supporting me during my match, and I really appreciate it, and I was really happy when I was playing. And I have to say thank you so much to Indonesian fans and to this amazing crowd. And the secret was to think about what's going on court and what I have to do against her.
In a repeat of last year's final, the men's singles saw former world number 1 Lee Chong-wei going up against the defending champion Chen Long. Still searching for his maiden world crown, the 32-year-old Malaysian came into this knowing that this could be his last chance. But there wasn't to be any sentiment from Chen as the world number 1 romped to another victory over Lee. Final score 21-14, 21-17.
It's been more than 10 years since a Chinese men's singles player has won here, so I'm very pleased. And I want to thank the incredible fan support for me and Lee Chong-wei.
The women's doubles event welcomed China's Qian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, pitting their skills against Denmark's Christina Pedersen and Camilla Ritter-Juhl. The Danes knew they had to be in top form to have any chance against the reigning world and Olympic champions. The Scandinavian duo managed to snatch the first game, but after that, it was all Tian and Zhao. The Chinese pair blitzed their way to the world title in the next 2 games, with the final score reading 23-25, 21-8, 21-15.
We were a bit slow in the beginning and lost the first game, but we got going in the second game and managed to turn things around and become the champions. It was a real test of our mental strength, and we're happy to emerge as winners.
The Istora Senayan faithful saved their loudest cheers for the men's doubles final as local boys Mohammad Hassan and Hendra Setiawan took to the courts to face Chinese pair Liu Xiaolong and Qiu Zihan. Having missed out last year's Copenhagen edition due to injury, 2013 world champions Hassan and Hendra were keen to make amends this time round. Buoyed by the energy of the home crowd, the world number 2 duo overpowered Liu and Chu in just 37 minutes. Final score 21-17, 21-14.
Firstly, I thank God for giving us and Indonesia a win in this tournament. For the match just now, we kept our focus even when we were leading. Our only concern was how to get our next point.
Total, the main sponsor for this event, were equally jubilant at the end of what was a spectacular day for World Championship badminton.
Witness the high energy, stamina and endurance displayed by the athletes over the week. It very much resonates Total as an energy company, especially with our Total Quartz lubricants that are formulated to ensure the best car engine performance. We continue eagerly look forward to promoting badminton to the benefits of both parts.
As the curtain closes on the Total BWF World Championships and the winners savor their moment, the tournament has proved yet again that it is one of the greatest arenas to see the very best of global badminton, and Indonesia has been the perfect host. And although the Olympics will dominate sport next year, all eyes will be on Glasgow as it hosts the championships in 2017. After the break, we find out how Japan's leading badminton club, NTT East, is grooming the country's next generation of stars. Get connected with us! Log on to these websites for videos and photos and get the latest news and information on all things badminton. Missed an episode of Badminton Unlimited? Or perhaps you just want to catch your favorite episode again? You can do so at your convenience on our YouTube channel. All the best badminton clips are just a click away.
Japan have rewritten the record books. A fourth country's name will be engraved on the Thomas Cup trophy.
Japan made history in 2014, winning the country's first ever Thomas Cup title. It was the moment they declared themselves as one of the heavyweights of the sport. With the likes of Takuma Ueda and Kento Momota emerging at the tournament, Japan also proved that it is the land of rising badminton stars. The last 2 seasons have also seen young Akane Yamaguchi make her mark on the women's singles scene. This year, Kento Momota announced his arrival at the top level, scaling the men's singles BWF World Rankings to an impressive 4th. Japan has a record of producing exciting young talent, and that success can be traced back to their highly competitive club system. Corporations set up badminton clubs with the aim of becoming the top team in Japan, and in doing so, help to develop and raise the standard of the sport in the country.
At the moment, we have over 200,000 players registered with the Japan Badminton Association, and this number is growing as badminton is the 3rd largest sport in the country. It's popular with the youth, the women, seniors, and even the elderly.
NTT East Badminton Club is a company club established by Japanese telecommunications firm Nippon Telegraph and Telephone. It's the country's leading badminton club and has enjoyed a proud history winning national club titles since it was formed in the mid-1950s.
As a team, we've won the All Nippon Corporate Team League consecutively for many years. I believe we've won over 20 titles. As for the Japan League that is held in the winter, there's been 36 tournaments so far, and of those, our men's team has won 18, which is really half of it, including 10 consecutive victories.
Badminton Unlimited recently visited the club's headquarters in Tokyo to learn more about how the country's top badminton club is helping groom the next generation of stars in Japan.
Well, it's been 60 years since the team was formed. We all feel that our predecessors have made the club into a top team, so we want to continue their good work and strive to be Japan's best badminton club. It's sort of our tradition, and we feel that we cannot lose in Japan, which in turn makes our players better and much stronger.
It is this competitiveness in the club system that sees club scouts seeking out potential talent at the school level to recruit.
If you look at the badminton culture in our club today, many of our players start at a very young age. They first come through the ranks as juniors. We look for top Japanese players in the middle school or high school categories. We are the top team in Japan at the moment, so we recruit players that are motivated to play on the global stage and those with a strong drive to succeed.
One such player is Japan's latest men's singles sensation, Kento Momota. The world number 4 joined NTT East in 2013 when he was 18 years old, and he believes it's the way forward for a Japanese badminton player if he or she wants to succeed.
Nowadays, it's become a standard to join a corporate sponsored team right after high school. Otherwise, it's too late. You will be 22 years old when you finish college, and I feel it'll be too late to start playing internationally at that age.
Momota's recent growth and success can be partly credited to the high standards of training and support the youngster has received from his club. With NTT East boasting a number of national team players, the club's training sessions are almost similar to that of the national team.
Naturally, those joining us are aiming to be the top players in Japan. Currently, about half our players are national level players, and those that are not in the national setup are working towards their goal to join the national team one day. As a result, there's a strong motivation across the group, as well as healthy rivalry amongst all the players.
The club players do more than just badminton training. They are also employed by NTT at the corporate level. They work part-time in the firm and are exempted from their duties during competitions and overseas tournaments for the country.
Basically, office hours start at 9 a.m. and everyone works in their office doing their own assignments every day until about 11 a.m. Then we gather at the club to train, and around 2 p.m. we'll start group training, and that goes on until about 6 p.m. or even later.
The company also commits to taking care of their players financially during their badminton careers and also after they've called it a day on the courts. Without the stress of making ends meet, the club players can fully concentrate on honing their badminton skills.
Over here, the players are paid a monthly salary as full-time employees, just like in the case of any other employee. NTT is a very big corporation and it provides good welfare. Equipment like rackets and various other forms of badminton gear are of course provided. And when the players eventually retire, there is a full-time position in the office as NTT employees. They always have something to come back to.
With company badminton clubs like NTT East taking the initiative to groom the next generation of badminton players, it ensures that Japan has a steady stream of top-class badminton players. A bright young star could already be blossoming under their wings and just waiting for the right moment to be introduced onto the world stage. Let's find out what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, We catch up with Mauritius's top women's singles player, Kate Fukun, as she tells us about the challenges of playing badminton in her country.